My name's Claire and this is Sean, and we're new Brutalists, and we're here at BIGSOUND with AU Review.
Sounds like you've had a few meetings today and you're getting into the industry side of things. How's all that faring?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, being at BIGSOUND has allowed us to meet, more people sort of personally than we could ever hope to meet via, sending people emails. It's just become, personalised, and within, 24 hours, it's enabled us to sort of forge relationships, whatever they may be, with such a broad, collection of people within the industry who are just basically key players, and people who make decisions and can basically help us get into certain positions regarding touring or management or publicity and
all those. I think it is also the informal stuff, that where you just encounter people in the hallways, which is really useful, because I think it's true, it's a cliche, but most great business is negotiated over a beer at a certain point of inebriation, and so this is a perfect environment. There's just a lot of beer and a lot of being able to basically kind of slightly harass people, maybe that's too strong a word, but you get to kind of go up and shake hands with lots of important figures and stuff like that.
And you get to perform in front of them as well.
Yes, which is a mixed, blessing.
Yeah, we played a lot. I mean, that's the thing. When we got here, it's like, it's BIGSOUND, and then you realise that there's so many different levels of careers and involvement, and which is great, because you've got people like us who are very, not just naive, but new to music and business and still finding our feet. But then you've got people who are, doing major sort of album releases, and
that doesn't mean they're any better than
no.
You just have a team around them.
It doesn't. But as far as the showcases, I mean, it is set up in a way. Sort of certain venues do handle the bigger bands, and I guess the stages you are playing sort of a smaller venue is great. But saying that, I mean, the meetings we had yesterday and the people we invited to come, I mean, a few of them did, actually come, which we were surprised by, and I'm pretty sure we surprised a lot of them as well. Like, we weren't expecting them to come at all, and for them to be sort of somewhat impressed. And the whole pressure of a showcase is, I've discussed it before, and I don't know why we didn't sort of just pay more attention to that, but it's the most nerve-wracking. It's kind of the worst gig you can potentially ever play, and as far as things going wrong, but despite all, I think it went pretty well, and we got some really great feedback from people who weren't on our meetings list, and people that we bumped into and just went, oh, hey, just introduce yourself, and what do you know, this person turns up to you, and sends you a really nice email, and you would never be able to do that in any other way. You would get completely lost in the
So musically, I imagine you've got some material that you're looking to get out soon.
We are.
Just got out. Can you tell us what you're up to?
We're in the process of recording our first EP, which is really exciting, and we have only kind of released 2 small songs to date. So this was a really kind of wonderful accident that BIGSOUND happened just before we sort of planning a release. And hopefully we'll be able to finally, have content and feel a bit more confident, because that's the other thing, is you're in a vacuum. You don't know that you're not a complete piece of shit, and then you don't, you've got no point of you've got no perspective on yourself, and then you come somewhere like this and you get a sense of being nurtured is the wrong word, but everybody's encouraging.
It's a bit of a community.
Yeah, it sounds really silly and cliched, but it's absolutely crucial. And we are to each other as well within the bands as well. Yeah. There's this sense of solidarity because everyone's intimidated.
In the same position as well. And everyone's, really, really encouraging. Like, the songs that we first did, they were treated, we treat them as demos now, but they sound very sort of I use the word immature, though it's not, but it's you're finding your feet, you know, and it's kind of, when you put, you know, when you're sort of putting a piece of who you are, or you're trying to communicate how you know, it's nerve-wracking at the best of times, and when you don't quite get it, or you don't feel like it represents who you are now, and you're kind of going, oh no, this is where we are now. You know, it doesn't matter. I mean, it seems that the strength of even those early songs were enough to get us invited here, which is a pretty good, you know.
So.
Well, I think so, and because I mean, everyone says, oh, you know, you should hear our new stuff. You know, it's incredible, but I mean, I really do feel that is. And we got feedback anyway regarding that too. Everyone was going, oh, I really like where you're heading. You know, I mean, one meeting we had with someone yesterday, we didn't think he was that kind of interested, and he came, and we knew from the meeting that he didn't get it, but we couldn't communicate how we are from what he'd heard, and he'd heard them 5 minutes before he came in because he didn't want to come to an interview, saying, oh, I haven't even heard what you're like, but nice to meet you. And you know, and we didn't really expect him to come, and he came, and it was so, and it wasn't the best gig we'd ever played by far, but you know, everyone was quite, as you said, forgiving and patient and encouraging, and it was great to get that, to change someone's opinion within a matter of hours, you know.
Half hour.
Yeah. Well, no, from when we spoke to him in the afternoon to the show, it was like, and it was late. It was 11:30. You know, he'd been out all night, and he was tired when we met him in the afternoon. I mean, as were we, but he made the effort, which means, you know, meant a lot to me.
I think it's one of the Big Sound. I'm not sure, you know, if people know that it's configured oddly, like you do meetings sort of for like 20 minutes in a courtyard. And it's, someone, you know, said this to me, it's very true, it's like a speed dating configuration. So it's just nerve-wracking. You have to lunge from table to table, shaking hands and trying to convince people that you're, you know, unparalleled in your talent in a 15-minute soundbite. So it's
and summing yourself
really
up
weird.
in 5 or tell us about yourself in 2 minutes.
It's the worst question. You
the elevator pitch.
Yeah.
And depending on who you're speaking to as well, you're dealing with people from, you know, it could be international, touring, man, you know, it's all.
And that dreaded question where they say, "What do you sound like?" And you think, well, you know, I know what I'd like to sound like.
Yeah.